So it's over to Tula.
Well, welcome everyone. Now, we're here to talk about, in case you didn't know, the truth about acting tonight. And the truth is a pretty bold statement, isn't it? Because what is the truth? It's pretty subjective. I think we all have our own truth. So I will humbly say that this is my truth about acting. Wow, I'm getting applause already. Okay, well, thank you all for being here tonight. I have, to support this occasion, and especially I'd like to thank the library and Kathleen, who's been putting up with me. And there are a couple of other people I'd like to thank. One of them is Nocsg, who is the Managing Director of Hay House Australia, who has been my very kind and generous mentor, and without whom this book wouldn't be out right now. So thank you to Leon, and also a thank you to my agent Martin Bedford, who has been with me through thick and thin over many, many years. So it's been quite a journey getting here, lots of twists and turns. I had to travel all the way from Surrey Hills to Leichhardt. It was a nightmare. Okay, so just because we've all had a day today, I'm just going to ask you all to close your eyes, and we're just going to take a little deep breath for a moment. So if you close your eyes and just breathe deeply, gently and slowly, in and out. And what I would like to ask for you tonight is that everyone receive the gift that they need from this evening. And from my experience, to tell you that you're in the right place at the perfectly right time. So I just want to get a feel for who's here tonight. You can open your eyes now. So raise your hand if you're an actor, professional actor. Great. Raise your hand if you're a budding actor. Anyone? Raise your hand if you're absolutely certain you've been doing the right thing all your life and doing the same thing and expecting different results. And raise your hand also if your knees wobble when you're about to do any sort of public speaking or speak in a group. That's a lot of people, isn't it? It is actually one of people's biggest fears, is public speaking. So I better tell you who I am. Who am I? Well, I was once told I was a fairy dropped in at the deep end. And you know where some people have life changes every few years, I've had them on a very, very regular basis. So basically, I've always wanted to perform. So I had piano lessons and I had ballet lessons when I was young. And I used to nag my parents to put me into their young talent team to no end. So that's showing my age. I started having panic attacks from a young age and had other problems like a weak immune system due to the lack of exposure to germs, for instance. I think I attended about 10 different schools in 2 different countries, and I've experienced quite a bit of trauma. I've had about 11 operations. I've moved, fast forward, I moved house more times than I can remember, and was once described to be in a permanent state of anxiety. My friends used to say, you don't need drugs, Tula, because I was always racing and racing and racing. So I decided to be an actor, which is great because acting is a study of human behaviour, of course. Now, raise your hand if you've experienced trauma in your life. We all have, haven't we? And your trauma may not be my trauma, or it might not be as important to you as my trauma. But the thing about trauma is that it embeds itself into our cellular body, our cellular memory. And unless we release that, and one of the best forms of releasing that is yoga, unless we release that, what it does is it can run subconscious patterns throughout your life. So we've all gone through it, and this is one area that I actually work with people. Now, being an actor has been by far the greatest gift I've ever had in my life. I've toured with shows, I've worked with the most amazing people, made my own films. Back in the day when Tropfest started, were you around, Anna? Yeah? We all used to make films for each other on zero budgets, and one of my films was actually a Tropfest finalist back in the early days. So I've gone from elation to despair, from rags to riches and back. The biggest gift, however, has been the combination of acting and personal growth to deal with my own limitations. So, being who I am, I became a Reiki master, I got into Chinese medicine, rebirthing, that was a trip, inner child workshops, you can guess what I was like as a child. When I didn't get my own way. Relationships, seminars, inspirational. I became an inspirational seminar junkie. Meditation, I studied Buddhism, etc., etc. This is all to make myself feel better. So what I didn't realise was it actually put me on a spiritual path that has brought me home. And that is how the truth about acting was born. It's fusing acting and spirituality to propel you, because in my mind, they are one and the same. What I wish for absolutely everyone is more and more experiences of inspiration in your lives, because inspiration has actually been a lifesaver for me. So the truth about acting is multidimensional. I wouldn't exactly call it great literature, but it's full of gifts and anecdotes. Have you read it yet? And anecdotes like, for instance, what's an example? The time I actually auditioned for the Victorian Arts Centre. It was a tour. It was going all around Victoria. So I started off, packing my suitcases and my hats and my coats, until I realised that we actually had to carry them ourselves from motel to motel to motel. And I remember going into the first town's pub, and I asked for a glass of bubbles. And the barman just about fell over because he'd never ever had to serve bubbles before in the country pub. So he pretty much made me drink the whole bottle, which is something I live to regret.
I don't think so.
I describe my own journey in The Truth About Acting using specific examples from film, TV, theatre, commercials, auditions. In fact, there's 3 chapters on auditions alone, along with options to take, sharing all the best tools I've picked up on a personal and a professional level to fast track your success so that you don't have to do it the hard way. It covers working in the industry, how to love and not dread auditions, and I've got to tell you, I've been to professional networking events where guest speakers, have actually talked about the fear of doing auditions. So in this book is how to love and not dread auditions. You get your own secret weapon. It talks about branding, building your website, working with your agent, even industrial affairs. However, the focus of The Truth About Acting is on the creative self and relates to acting as much as it does to life. What happens when we get out of our own way? Are you struggling? Do you feel powerless, frustrated, resigned, obligated, controlled? Do you panic at the thought of speaking in public? Never get commercials, complain your agent doesn't work for you? Is there something you know that you've wanted to do always, but life got in the way because it wasn't secure enough, or it didn't give you the safety according to the conditions that you were brought up with. So this is what it deals with. It gives you tools like breathing. Now, are we all breathing? Yes? Did you know that as a nation, we are a nation of chest breathers? And what happens when something unexpectedly bad happens that we don't expect? We stop breathing and go, or, the thing about chest breathing is it's very, very stressful. So actually breathing correctly does wonders for you. So breathing correctly means breathing right down into your stomach and right out again. Very softly, very deeply, and very slowly. And the benefits of breathing are incredible. Breathing is known to have health benefits for your well-being. For one thing, it will stop your mind from chatter when you focus on the breath. It connects you to your creative source. So there are lots and lots of benefits from breathing, especially if you're under stress. And most of us are under stress at different times. So you'll find in the book, as you've read, breathing is a very, very constant, repetitive statement that I make. I actually stop you in the book to breathe because it's so important for so many things. Now, the truth about acting also talks about being present. It teaches self-referral, non-judgment. For instance, life is full of opposites and duality. Where we have good, we have bad. Where we have hot, we have cold. Where a blind man doesn't know he's blind unless he's blinded after he's seen the light. Life is full of opposites. And the thing about it is that what we do is we like certain things, like what we consider to be good things, but we don't like the bad things. Now, if we recognize that life is full of opposites and we don't judge something as good or bad, but we just see it as it is and give it equal value, we realize that if there was no cold, we wouldn't know hot. There's always value in opposites because they challenge us to grow. If an opposite happens, if something bad happens with something good along the way, that's just how life is. That's just how it goes. So that goes towards non-judgment, of course. Authenticity. Now, how often or how quickly can you tell someone who's not being themselves? Would you say pretty quickly? It really pays to be authentic in life. Love for the self, eliminating drama, how to access your inspiration, all in the truth about acting. Operate from the heart and not the ego. What is the heart? The heart is, how can I help? What is the ego? The ego is, what's in it for me? Collaboration rather than competition, realizing that there's enough out there for absolutely everybody and there's no need for competition. You get a lot more out of people you work with through collaboration. So basically, and using the spiritual laws of success, that is a very, very big theme in the truth about acting. Now, raise your hand if you have read, seen, or know about The Secret. Okay. There's been a lot of publicity about The Secret, and many, many people have picked up The Secret as if it is the answer to all their problems. It will cure your relationships, bring you finances, abundance. The thing about this book is that the work it does with visualization and The Secret and the laws of success is very realistic, because unless we release our limiting beliefs and all of the beliefs and the cellular patterns and the patterns we carry as adults, then saying I am amazing is just not going to work. And visualizing something amazing for yourself, like a mansion that you want to live in, is not going to work if deep down you're running different programs. So this book combines both. And funnily enough, after I published The Truth About Acting, I was actually asked to submit several articles and have become a regular contributor to two magazines, True Natural Health and Leaders in Heels magazines. And just to give you an idea about the focus on the creative self, in The Truth About Acting, the types of subjects that my articles are written on include heaven and hell, which I believe are right here in our own minds. That's my favourite. Visualization, inspiration, tips for happiness, transforming relationships, overcoming obstacles, how to conquer stage fright for public speakers. In fact, Toastmasters have been retweeting that article on public speaking. Anxiety, which I know a lot about, and managing anxiety. And of course, breathing, which is my favourite subject. Now, this has led me on a path of public speaking and running workshops and coaching and seminars. So tonight is also very, very important because it is the launch of those workshops and seminars and coaching. Oh, look, I'm falling. And if you're looking in your show bags that I have for everyone, there are gifts in there for everybody. And everyone gets a lollipop as well. So we've got, because it is the launch, we've got super, super discounts if you enroll in the seminars and the workshops today. You also get some freebies on your gifts page. And the workshops, what is on offer? First of all, I am launching a new breed of actor and artist called the Creative Entrepreneur. So, the Creative Entrepreneur is available as a workshop, and as a continuation or extension of that, the Actors Rock Group, which is a group that comes together to feel at home, to be inspired, to talk about what they're doing, but also a group that attracts what I call a talent bank, people with different skills to offer, where you can actually create projects together. So that's the Actors Rock Group, which I am launching this evening as well. Now, the other one I'm launching for actors and other people who want to get into presenting is Presenting for the Camera. You can enroll for that tonight, and you actually have, I think the discounts are like $100, $200 off each thing if you enroll tonight. And we've got public speaking and the perfect presentation, where we spend 2 days, we talk about public speaking and then create the perfect speech or perfect presentation that you can literally walk away with. And my absolute favourite workshop is From Obstacles to Inspiration. So you can enroll in that as well. Now, if you do work with me, you can expect to work outside the square. I can tell you that now. There are also 2 seminars coming up very shortly that you can book for, and they're normally $2.95, but if you book tonight, they're only $27. Okay, so that's just for tonight. The first one is Obstacles to Inspiration, 14 steps to transform obstacles. And the second is How to Conquer Stage Fright, 27 steps to unleash your full expression. So these are all things you can enroll in tonight. And if you haven't read The Truth About Acting yet, I don't have any printed copies because these are print on demand, but I have 50 ebook cards that I think we're selling for just $5 if you want one. And I do recommend it because it really is a pathway to further learning, and it is jam-packed. You'll get a lot out of it. You can have a look at some book reviews online if you like on my website. They're really, really good. Now, I want to see you all unleash your full expression, and I don't care if you're an actor, a non-actor, whatever it is that you know you have a passion for but you're not doing, or if you've lost your mojo, you're not happy, then I want to work with you, okay? So the other thing I've done in The Truth About Acting is I've shared a lot of very, very personal details, and I can tell you that's been very confronting for me. But the reason I have done it is because I've been fortunate that I had panic attacks at a young age and ongoing anxiety that I had to do the work. And because I've done the work, I've picked up the best tools from absolutely everything I've done, and I've put them all in the book and all into the workshops that I'm taking. So in the workshops, you get skill-based tools, but you also get the whole mindset training as well. So I think you've heard my voice enough. Does anyone have any questions?
I'll have to say a few words, that's okay.
Okay. Joe is an actor that I coach.
Hi everyone.
Oh, you're going to read it?
Yes,
Wow.
that's okay. Just like to say a few words. I'm very grateful to have found an inspiring and joyful coach to work with, such as Tula, as she has opened my eyes to the possibility that each moment has, and has guided me to connect with my creative essence, with mind, body, and soul. I no longer see the world through other people, and I feel liberated to follow the path that I desire, not the path that others want me to tread. I step into each day free of judgment of myself and others, excited to make mistakes, because when I succeed, I know it has come from the right place. Thank you, Tula, for making me a bold person and a strong actor.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Joe. Does anyone have any questions? Come on, aren't you curious to know what your secret weapon is?
What's my secret weapon? Tell me.
Well, you've got to buy the book. Okay. The life of an actor is a magical gift of discovery and experience. I can honestly say I've had an extraordinary life, and I'm really fortunate because I have followed my soul's path, as are all those people who follow their soul's path. And that is what I wish for you. Also, it's really fun. It's hard work, but it's really fun. So I encourage you and invite you to take the journey of self-discovery, self-mastery, inspiration, and treading your own path, your own passion, because we all have a unique gift. Each one of us has a unique gift to give the world, and it is unique, and we all have it. So thank you all for coming tonight. You can talk to me or Winnie or Kerry if you'd like to enroll. I encourage you to roll into the seminars. They're only $27. And if you want to enroll into any of the workshops, to get the discounts, do it tonight. Okay, so thank you very much.